Okay, and now for the last troll of the Pesterquest. Yay! Life in the Dream House with Feferi. As you've had occasion to remark before, Alternia is a dark world. Both because it's night all the time, and both because it's night all day long, and because of its hideously brutal society, where the strong prey on the weak and the weak on the weaker, prey on the weaker. And all this preying only ends with the survivors. Only ends when the survivors are shipped out to prey on everyone else in the galaxy. See you with the Alpha Kids. Yep, I'll see you later, Ink Spray. Alternia's cruelty has been on your mind for a long time, but recently it's begun to feel intolerable. You decide to take a walk in the woods to calm yourself, but it seems that with every step your mood only grows darker, your agitation greater. As you walk, you remember the names of Alternian friends who have fallen to the planet's injustices, and your mood goes from bad to worse. You've been waiting around like a spoiled, self-centered narrative device for a lightning bolt of illumination to reveal your reason for living, to explain your particular and insatiable hunger for friendship, and to show you the destiny attached to it. You think you know that you know who caused this, but why? You've been sitting here like a child waiting for a teacher to explain the answer to a difficult math question. Vriska and Terezi are arming up to change the world, and what are you doing? Your usual bullshit. You're thinking, you're navel-gazing. And then, with a sudden blinding clarity, you understand Vriska is right. Terezi is right. The answer is revolution! Oh shit, this is gonna get interesting. Who gives a shit? Who cares what some big dumb universe thinks your destiny should be? You'll take Dream Boulder's advice and choose your own fate. Take the answer to the meaning of your own life into your own hands. Set your own course. The gods, the fates, the universe, or whoever will have to jump back down pretty sharply because your direction is clear to you at last. Your agitation turns to indignation, your indignation to outrage, outrage to anger, anger to fury, fury to ferocity, ferocity to white-hot resolve. The horrors of this planet have got to stop, and you are feeling particularly dramatic today, doubtlessly due to, in part, to the shift in narrative tone and general prose quality in this episode. So now is the time. Alternia's cruelty and violence have upset and shocked you since you arrived, but as more and more of the population suffered under these wrongs have become your personal friends, it has become unbearable. You've been wondering all along, who will make it stop? Now you know the answer. If you're the main character, then you have to be the one to get the ball rolling, and you've begun to suspect that you can't die for reasons seemingly tied to your function as a narrative device. So there's a bit of characterization you can bring to bear. Yeah, fuck you, I have plot armor. No longer will you linger in the wings, waiting for the narrative to summon you to heroics. With this momentous decision girding you for unstinted effort, you set your mind to the question of how to accomplish it. You start by making an inventory of the strengths and weaknesses that you possess and can bring to bear on the task. Strengths. 1. Experience drumming up friendship in the most unlikely situations. 2. Ability to travel instantly anywhere you want to go. Weaknesses? Everything else. This helpful mental exercise clarifies matters significantly. You see clearly that the only way for a single humble being such as yourself to change Alternia is to go directly to the point of maximum leverage, in other words, straight to the top. You'll need both of your resources in this quest. You need to travel superhumanly and superluminarily into the immediate company of Alternia's ruler and throw your full friendship game at them, with the objective of persuading them to initiate reforms, change rules, and set the planet on a course to civilization. Bet your darting intellect realizes something else. It won't be easy. The ruler of a world such as Alternia must be fearsome, must be a fearsome fell creature, a monster of no ordinary loathsomeness and cruelty. Oh, this is going to be great. On Alternia, you've seen gigantic ravening Nushai, genocidal clowns, murderous high-bloods, and every kind of grisly crime, to a point making belief in Santa Claus almost impossible. It stands to reason that the leader of such a world must be one of the cruelest, gruesomest, most terrifying being of them all, a being of near impossible evil. Well, I mean, you're half right, but she's left everything in the care of her daughter at the moment. For the first time since this plan caught fire in your mind, the whisper of doubt creeps in. It occurs to you that the most likely outcome of your quest for the Reformation of Alternia is a scenario where your internal organs are festooned over a wide area, your eyes popped out of your skull, and your brain splattered into a fine mist. While experience suggests that you're non-killable, that sort of thing may offend, not to mention be excruciatingly painful. Maybe it would be a better idea to have a light lunch and lay down until your reforming mood passes. Press on fearlessly with your quest. Okay, well there's an obvious wrong answer here, so let's do that. Oh, come on. If you, an indispensable narrative device with nearly superhuman befriending powers and actual superhuman traveling powers, will try to form Alternia, who will? Have you no pride? No grit? No old college spirit? Go back and select the right answer. Press on fearlessly with your quest. Scorning all difficulties, you decide to press on fearlessly with your quest. You gather yourself, consign your soul to heaven or whatever, and prepare for the worst. You close your eyes and think, take me to the highest being on Alternia. Then you grit your teeth and prepare for the ultimate horror. You feel the familiar sensation of superhuman superluminal travel, and the world changes around you, rendering you somewhere else. Somewhere that feels quite different from your previous forest location. Very different, actually. A lot wetter. You're going to drown, you idiot. It quickly becomes apparent that there's good news and there's bad news. The good news is that, oh, she's adorable! The good news is that instead of an eldritch monster, you've materialized next to a rather pleasant-looking troll girl with fins on her head and wearing goggles and a tiara. The bad news is that you're drowning, as you seem to have materialized in the middle of the ocean. Ah, Feferi, she's adorable. Yes. Glub, kelp! Your young greeting may seem a bit less cheery in that it consists of thrashing wildly with your eyes bugged out as you fight not to inhale, while trying to concentrate on your zapping yourself the heck out of here. The troll girl watches in astonishment, but suddenly seems to understand. You see her take on a big breath of water through some gills on her neck, and then something starts to come out of her mouth. A bubble. The bubble expands and expands until you feel its boundary breaking over you, and suddenly you can breathe. You collapse coughing and gasping onto the floor. You feel like the inside it feels like the inside of a huge submerged balloon, yielding but effectively keeping the water at bay. That's interesting. The troll girl sits across from you in the bottom of the bubble, studying you curiously and anxiously. Interesting that she can just do that, but okay. Yeah, she could blow, like, she could do, it's like we're bubble buddies. That's what it is. This is bubble buddies all of a sudden. What the fuck? Is this session going to end with us giving her, like, a glow bracelet? The troll girl sits across from you at the bottom of the bubble, studying you curiously and anxiously. Glub, glub, glub. Are you okay? Recovering from your brush with drowning, you're able to notice with relief that despite her conversational quirks, she looks friendly, even glad to see you. You try to say something, but all that comes out of your mouth is water and a spluttering sound. I don't speak whatever language that is. It's very pretty, though. You burp and some water trickles out of your ears. Sorry, I still don't understand. Do you speak any Alternian? With a great effort, you grasp a yes. Oh, yay! My name is Feferi Peixes. Glub glub. What's your name? You bubble weakly. It's nice to meet you, Blub. You nod politely, expel another half-gallon of water, and then weakly say that it's very nice to meet her too. Not least because if she hadn't been there, things might have gotten unpleasant for you. You're welcome. But what are you doing here? Almost nobody comes this way. It's not really on the way to an enemy where? Okay, I swear to God, the Peixes troll quirk is fucking contagious, because every time one of these freaking girls is around, everybody else starts adopting their quirk. Like, this is like a known phenomena. It happens with Minda all the time too, and I don't know, and I can only chalk it up to like psychic powers. It's not really on the way to an enemy where. She looks sad when she says it, and you wonder that some poor troll child would be living all by herself way down in these submerged parts, so far from anyone. How did you manage to appear from nowhere like that? You almost gave me a heart attack, Glub Glub. You tell her you were trying to use some superhuman powers. Oh yeah, it might just be like a mislabeled, yeah, it might just be that this is supposed to be Feferi talking and they mislabeled the box. Because, yeah, it is her quirk, and it is, like, something that she would be saying. Anyway. How'd you manage to appear from nowhere like that? You almost gave me a heart attack, Glub Glub. You tell her you were trying to use some superhuman powers you have to go visit the highest being in Alternia. The troll girl seems to peek up at this. You wanted to come visit me? You shake your head vigorously to try to get the water out of your ears. The troll girl looks disappointed. You didn't come to see me? You apologize and say you're quite happy to be visiting her, but you misheard her last remark. You thought she had implied that she was the highest being on Alternia? Just goes to show you how deep submergence and waterlogging can clog your hearing. Oh no, Glub, you're right, it's me. I'm the biggest being on Alternia. Most of the time, I'm the future Empress, heiress to the throne of the Alternian Empire. Which is a great big glubbing pile of whale poop as far as I'm concerned. What? You look around for the multiple razor-toothed, fire-breathing, acid-spitting heads, tearing claws, and bad attitude that you're sure Alternia's highest being must have. But then you start to remember your Alternian social science. You haven't had any formal Alternian education. You're not even sure narrative devices, however indispensable, are eligible to sign up for classes. But you pick this stuff up when you hang around a place long enough. So you know that the Emperor spends most of her time off-planet leading merciless troll hordes in conquest of the galaxy. You also know that there's only ever one other member of the royal fuchsia bloodline, the heiress, in existence at any time, as long as the Condens doesn't kill her on her rare visits to the home planet, that is. The troll girl glubs sadly, and you realize that being the only fuchsia blood on the planet must be lonely. Not only would you have enough strength to accidentally tear any troll who visited you limb from limb without noticing, but you've heard some sinister things about the heiress's Lucius. Something about being the size of a continent, hungry as the void of space, and evil as hell as the hell devils go to if they're bad devils. Something that might discourage casual visits by friends who don't want to double as snacks. But at the same time, you wonder what such a seemingly agreeable and sensitive troll as this girl could preside over such a grindingly horrible planet as Alternia. How can she live with herself? Does she even know what goes on outside her insular little ocean? But you put all that aside for now. Here you are, right where you wanted to be when you made your master plan for Alternian reform. You haven't been devoured, dismembered, or decapitated, and the person you want to persuade seems eminently persuadable, not to mention friendable. So you're ahead of the game so far. Time to take full advantage. Your Royal Highness, you begin. Glub, call me Fef, Glub. It's much friendlier to be on a fish name basis. I'm so happy and excited to have another friend. Perfect. Phase 1 of your plan seems to have practically accomplished itself. But there's no time to waste, as the air in the bubble your new friend created is starting to get stuffy, and you know you're going to have to zap out of here soon. You mention in a casual, conversational tone that you've been visiting Alternia for some time now. Is Glublib Lucius for the Hive Swap era heiress too? Probably, I would assume so. Like, I got the impression that was how it worked. Is that Cthulhu Glub is the Lucius for whichever heiress happens to be on Alternia? Always? Glub, do you like it? It's certainly unusual. That's putting it lightly. I'm sure everyone has been incredibly mean to you. Well, yes, to start off with, at least. The Sea Dwellers think they're so much better than everybody else, but they're just a bunch of selfish, arrogant bassholes. The High Bloods play in the low bridge, and no one cares how other people feel, or even if they lived or die. Drones fly around killing anyone weak or useless. Oh, well, she seems to know. Maybe she's got plans of her own? Phase 2 of your plan is half in the bag already. You feel dizzy suddenly at how your quest is working out without the least effort on your part, and also from lack of oxygen. Why is there ominous giggling in the song? I don't know, it's Feferi. Of course there's ominous giggling in the song. You're gasping for breath, and the darkness is gathering at the edges of your vision. In about a minute, you're going to pass out from oxygen deprivation. What's to be done? Okay, well, let's see here. Zap yourself the heck out of here back to Alternia's surface, where you can at least breathe. Stick around and test out the whole you can't die hypothesis. It's like this is going to get a bad ending, but it's going to be hilarious, I think. You're fading fast. A black tunnel is closing around you, and sounds are getting dim. You wiggle your fingers and try to grasp out an entreaty. Glub, are you okay, Blub? For a reply, you clutch your throat, fall heavily to the floor, and lose consciousness. Gradually regain consciousness, and as you do, you realize that air is going through your lungs. Fresh, oxygenated air. The most beautiful thing you ever felt. Okay, this is not a game over. Load. Yeah. Yes. Zap yourself the heck out here and back to Alternative surface. You're fading fast. A black tunnel is closing around you, and the sounds are getting dim. With your next to last strength, you grab Fef's wrist to zap her back to the surface with you. You're not done persuading her to perform Alternia. Oh, so these are both going in interesting directions. But then you realize that you don't even know if she can breathe air. You feel it would be wrong to suffocate your new friend on your very first visit. So with your last strength, you let go of her wrist and zap yourself back to the surface alone. You materialize superhumanly and superluminally back in the forest. You lie in the tall ridge grass for a while gasping, darkness receding from your eyes, sounds clearing in your ears. Once you feel sufficiently re-oxygenated, you sit up. You have a pounding headache, but otherwise seem fine. Your emotions are deeply conflicted. Yes, you can breathe. Yes, you're a slave. And yes, you realize with deep satisfaction, you've made a new friend. But what about your quest to save Alternia? She can totally breathe air, you idiot. She's in the bubble with you? Yeah, I know. MSPA Raider's an idiot sometimes. Feferi seems to be aware of the problems of her kingdom. Is she perhaps just waiting on the right ally, or Ely, as she might call it? You prepare to immediately zap back to finish the job. But you hesitate. What if you zap back into that bubble and merely continue to suffocate? Or what if she's already collapsed the bubble and you materialize in the water again? What if she's not there to rescue you? Or so annoyed that your rudely abrupt departure that she decides just to leave you to your own devices? What if her Lucius notices you thrashing in the water and snatches you with its eldritch tentacles for a plaything or hors d'oeuvres? Not that you can drown or suffocate or die or masticate, but can you really not? It feels like you were drowning and suffocating quite efficiently there a few minutes ago. You hesitate some more? Even if you can't die, the torment of drowning and suffocating felt quite real. How much its torments go on, even if you didn't die? Would an eternity of suffocating or drowning be all that pleasant, even if you kept on living? What about an eternity of being chewed and passed through a giant Lucius's digestive tract? You realize that you can't bring yourself to zap back to the heiress. You curse your weakness, but given the choice between death and eternal torment, you realize with belated humility that your choice would be neither. Even if there's a chance you could save Alternia? Oh, you coward. You stand up and sadly begin walking back through the forest. Made a friend, but fail at life? You idiot. Whatever. That was lame. MSP Raider is not the Comet King? No. Anyway, continuing on with this adventure. The music stopped. Oh dear. Fresh oxygenated air, the most beautiful thing you've ever felt. You realize too that you're on a pedestal, though messy, that you're in a palatial, though messy bedroom, and while you can see underwater realms outside the windows, the room itself is dewatered. The fresh air seems to be coming from a large conch shell sitting on the floor nearby and humming quietly like an air purifier. You're swooning on a chase lounge, and Feferi is fanning you with a large palm frond. Glub, are you alright, Blub? Why didn't you tell me you couldn't breathe? you scared the piscine out of me. You struggle upright and try to smile bravely. You apologize for scaring her, but observe that one of the symptoms of not being able to breathe is not being able to talk. You thank her effusively for saving you. Glub, that's an Empress's duty. Instead of encouraging people to be mean and hurt each other, She should do whatever she can to help them. A tear comes to your eyes and a lump to your throat when she says that. If she really means it, you have a couple of suggestions? Of course I mean it. I'm blubbed at how abyssal things have been around here. When I'm Empress, things are going to be different. You respectfully wonder how long it will be before she becomes Empress. Only a couple thousand more sweeps. Oh, cool. What happens to everyone on Alternia in the meantime? Feferi looks momentarily thoughtful. I don't know. I haven't thought that part out yet. Pissing piss. Yeah, there you go. I guess I'm not equal to my big ideas. And what if when she does become Empress, she feels differently? How can she know her imperious condescension didn't feel the same way as Feferi does now when she was her age? What if there's someone that makes adult Empresses evil, something they can't control? What if Feferi grows up to be socially liberal but fiscally conservative? What a horrible thought! Oh, that was funny. Oh. You have to strike while the iron is hot. Never leave till tomorrow what you can do today. A stitch in time saves 9. Procrastination is the thief of time. New fan troll named Procrastination, who is a thief of time. Make it happen. Actually, yeah, wait, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, someone find a way to split Procrastination up into 2 6-letter words and make a fan troll who's a thief of time. The longest journey starts with a single step. It's no use crying over spilled milk. You hope Feferi has been convinced because you're running out of cliches. Glub. The heiress still looks uncertain. Everything you say is plumb and true, but rebelling against the Empress? It would be so dangerous, and I'm not sure it would be right. Thief of Time does sound like a powerful class spec. I mean, any time-based class spec is going to be pretty tough, because like time and space are like the two big uns. So yeah, I mean, any kind of time aspect character is going to be pretty big. Whew. It might cause Glubub to make the fast glub. That would destroy everyone, you know. Oh, glub. I mean gulp. You didn't realize that. You're not sure what the fast glub is, but it sounds bad. Oh, it is. Before we do an enemy thing, we need Moirail guidance. We need Moirail guidance, and we need Moirail guidance and advice. As heiress, I have a special metaphysical periscope, you know. You didn't know that. That sounds made up. But a little metaphysical advice certainly might come in handy in a time like this. Without further delay, the heiress goes to an ornate, jewel-encrusted tube that rises from the floor to her palatial bedroom. It seems to extend into the other water depths, though air pressure seems to be keeping the water from flowing around it into the room. She yells into the tube, louder than you would have thought someone so agreeable-looking could yell. Glub, 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 glub! Glub, glub! There's a swishing, gurgling sound, and something extends up through the tube into the room. Something pale and featureless as Lucius, but unmistakably a tentacle. A tentacle with a bulbous eye on the end of it. You died behind a luxurious sofa. You'd rather that the heiress as Lucius didn't see how plump and tasty you look. But almost immediately, the eye settles itself on top of the tube. It hardens into something that looks like a very large crystal ball. That's cool. Shapes move and change inside the crystal ball. They resolve themselves into a scene you recognize, you realize with a shock. You come out from behind the sofa and approach the crystal ball, staring into it. In its depths, a dark place appears, and in the dark place, a carnival carousel rotates, wooden horses going up and down, and above them, naked plastic mannequins with plastic wings hang from wires. What? We're going to Clown Heaven? What? The Dark Carnival! Jumping Jehoshaphat, is that where Feferi gets her metaphysical advice? The scene glows clearer and closer, zooming in on one of the horses, and on the figure riding it. Your heart begins to beat wildly. It can't be, but... Come on, Kuroko! What? What? Honk? Sunny, you're dancing around the room with joy. You grab Feferi and whirl her with you as you dance. At first she gasps in surprise, but then she gets into the spirit, grins and begins to whirl too. Her strength is such that she spins you like a fan blade, and with your blood all going to your legs, and when she lets you go, you hit the wall like a bullet and ooze down to the floor. Whoops. But as you recover consciousness, your joy is barely containable. You never thought to see that sweet, sweet fellow again, but now here he is, and evidently he's come up in the world because he's communicating exclusively with a royal future blood princess. You're so proud your heart feels about to explode. My friend Glub here. They have a plan. Well, you wouldn't go that far. It's a very friend-sim text box for Kakuro. That it is. Kuroko. I'm just not sure what to do. Honk, honk, honk. Yeah, it's like we got the old friend-sim text boxes back for this. I believe the same thing happened with when Dream Boulder visited us a few sessions back. Honk, 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 honk. Just hold on. Feferi adjusts some controls in the bejeweled tube. They must be translation controls because in mid-sentence, Kuroko's remarks change from semantic honks into conventional language forms. And when they do, you realize that this isn't the same Kuroko you knew way back when. This is fascinating. What is that? So wait, does that mean that... Wait a minute, does that mean that Kuroko dying is canon then, if he's at the Dark Carnival? That's too bad, but I guess it had to happen for this to happen? I don't know. Weird stuff is happening. Honk honk. What you ask is not simple, little one. To truly know the answer, you must learn that there is much more to your story than meets the eye. You must expand your vision to see the big picture, and the even bigger picture of which that big picture is only a pixel. Yes, I know that. This isn't the usual glub shit. Not silly grub shit. Not silly grub shit for wigglers. I need some real answers here. You study Kuroko. He's obviously the same troll, but the changes in him are equally obvious. His eyes are deep as wells, his face grave and kind. Either he's done a lot of reading and undergone a lot of alternative timelines go to Dream Bubbles too. That's right, they do. So yeah, this is the Kuroko who died. You know, so yeah, this is like a Dream Bubble Kuroko who died. Although he doesn't have the glassy eyes, but whatever. Anyway, he doesn't have the white eyes, but whatever. Either he's done a lot of reading and undergone a lot of life experience since you last saw him, or else he's become the honking mouthpiece of some vast mystical wisdom-type entity which offers metaphysical advice to princesses. Perhaps whether a person or process sustains the Dark Carnival? But how did Kuroko get that job? You wave madly at Kuroko as he and the heiress talk, but either he doesn't see you, or he no longer knows you, or he thinks imparting serious metaphysical advice is too solemn an occasion for waving like a maniac. Either way, he ignores you and keeps talking. Does a troll who paddles an ore vessel down a rushing river control her own fate, or does the river control her? The answer, of course, is both. The river has its own force, but within that, the troll can move her boat where she will. You are the heiress, and thus the fate that sweeps you along is vast and powerful and swift. But also your arms are strong, and your ore vessel stout. Do not despair of your own strength. Yet there is more. We see by mystic means that the rushing river you navigate is itself being swept along by an equally unimaginably vaster rushing cosmic river, and that the planet which that vast cosmic river traverses is itself being swept along an even infinitely greater supercosmic river. There are many such metaphorical cosmic level meta rivers level. Bleh. There are many such metaphorical cosmic meta river levels to this particular instantation of the story. Thus, even if you row with utmost power to change your course on the river you are navigating, the river you can see, the other meta rivers continue to sweep you on as before, without regard for any tiny adjustments you may make down at your level. Yet do not despair. You may yet, through long and deep meditation, transcend the boundaries of this small world. rising higher and higher so that you are able to see and comprehend and transcend those vast and meta-vast cosmic river levels one by one. And what you can see, you can learn how to navigate, using meta-vessels and meta-ores fashioned from meta-cosmic star stuff. Yet also remain humble. Above the creator of this world is yet another creator, and above him yet another creator greater even than him, and above her yet another creator. These vast powers move all things like pieces on a chessboard, yet if the chess pieces grew wise enough, they may move the movers. The powers that move in these universes upon universes are unimaginably vast, and yet as you are unimaginably small, yet nonetheless for that in your smallness and your small world are indispensable, like a key piece at the bottom of an infinitely tall Jenga tower. Wait, those pronouns, who is who? Yeah, that's a good question, because there was a she in there, in that list of creators, so, like, who's the she? Knowing these things, do you wish to undertake... Oh, wait, she is probably Calliope. Doomed Calliope, anyway. Knowing these things, do you wish to undertake the great work of awakening and enlightenment that will bear you into the full light of reality? It is a work of millions of mantras, thousands of sweeps, and hundreds of lives. Or knowing these things, do you instead choose to ply your vessel in the waters of your own world, remaining the person life has made you? Remaining a key yet unknowing piece in the towering stack of universes, influencing your own destiny in your corporeal river, swept to destinations beyond your understanding, fulfillment of the larger story. Either choice is noble, little one. Your only duty and burden is to choose the one that seems best to you. Feferi turns to you. It's clear that both courses described by the Wise One speaking through Karoko hold attraction for her, and that she's on a razor's edge between them. The merest word from you will be enough to lead her in one direction or the other. Which way will you choose to lead her? Oh, this? Oh, Jesus Christ. Huh. I have no fucking idea. I mean, Jesus Christ. Yeah, alt Calliope, not Callie. Although maybe Callie, because, I mean, you know, I don't know what she's been doing this whole time. Huh. So basically our options are, hey, we have a third choice for this route. Interesting. So basically our options are Calliope? What's wrong with the way I pronounce Calliope? Is that not right? Calliope? Is it Calliope? I don't know. Anyway, so the options are basically stay in our lane and just, like, continue trying to manipulate the friendship verse. Oh, I made it worse. I'm sorry! I don't know what... Oh. Usually I just use a long I. Calliope. 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 Calliope? Okay. So basically we can just kind of stay on this track that we're on and then try to improve, you know, life on Alternia, on this iteration of Alternia. Or we can try to, like, actually become a big player in the meta-narrative that is Homestuck as a whole. Huh. That's true. Huh. I don't know. I don't think that either of these are, like, a bad option. I think these are just two different options. And we're just gonna have to play them both out and see how they go. So yeah, let's start with the simpler task, I suppose. And then we'll see what meditation and transcendence, meditation and transcendence leads us. Well chosen, little one. Step forward and tell your marshmallow-like companion to step forward too. A helpmate to share in your worldly efforts is a blessing, and they seem a noble and loyal marshmallow, though a bit manic in the hand-waving department. You and Feferi step forward, and Kuroko's hand comes right out of the crystal ball, divides in two, and makes a gesture of blessing over your heads. You immediately feel strength and courage coursing through you, and as the Lucius tentacle turns back into an eye and withdraws from the tube, you turn to look into Feferi's sparkling eyes and see that she is feeling the same intrepid energy. I prefer the side of fuck the meta-narrative, but given the direction of current Homestuck, it's entirely possible we're not doing that one. Yeah. Well, it's like, I don't think you really can do that one, because, like, the meta-narrative is there, whether you like it or not, is kind of the problem. I think a good portion of that was glove shit, but still. Yeah, he has a really good point somewhere in there. We can't just be canoes, we have to be fish. Even if at the end of it we are just a little minnows, we will be whales to someone. You start to grab her for a dance, but recalling your previous experience, quickly turn the gesture into an offered high five, which she slaps, breaking several bones in your hand. What shall we do, you ask her. What's our plan? You feel the ability to accomplish any plan fairly overflowing from you. You'll have to introduce her to Terezi and Vriska to start off with, at least. Yes, yes! Glub, but first I need time to think. I'm so excited. I'm sure the purpose of your visit was to reveal the whale of a destiny that awaits us. Kuroko probably should have left by now. I think we're gone. Like, shouldn't Kuroko have left when the tentacle left? But we need to consider our next move. Will you please come back and visit me again soon after some tides have passed? Then we can compare notes. Yay, Glub Glub, this is going to be fun. Noble worldly partnership, victory. Okay, and let's dive into the meta-narrative. Influence the heiress to choose the path of meditation and transcendence. Well chosen, little one. Step forward and tell your cheese-like companion to step forward too. What? A friend to share your transcendental journey is a blessing, and they seem a noble and loyal cheese, though perhaps a little bit overexcited. Interesting little change there, I guess. You and Feferi step forward, and Kuroko's hand comes right out of the crystal ball, divides in two, and taps each of you on the forehead. At the tap, you feel a powerful fire course up your spine and through your chakras, and the roaring flames obliterate all the world. So these are the cheese and marshmallow timelines, I guess? Yeah, that seems... When the flames subside, a resonant silence reigns. You and Feferi are seated in full lotus position on either side of a flesh-air conch, cozy in a bubble floating deep through the vast oceans of Alternia, where you can never be found by anyone until you emerge fully enlightened and with the power of gods, many yugas hence. Eternal spiritual siblinghood victory. Interesting. Your chakras just got blitzed to fuck. Huh. So that was interesting. Kind of a little, very vague pair of endings there. Well, time you motivate Feferi to seek the path of action and accomplishment. You helped Feferi achieve meditation and transcendence. So that was a very, where's the conclusion? Yeah, there seems to be no conclusion there. So I'm not really sure what to make of that. I imagine both endings are going to come into play somewhere down the line in this story. Jade Roth, this was not. Communist troll and French and called us cheese. Oh, yeah. Huh. So that's interesting. I'm really curious to see where that goes, because I imagine both routes are going to, like, come up somehow. Like probably Enlightened Feferi has a good chance of showing up in Homestuck 2. Whereas Action Feferi has a good chance of, like, improving life on this iteration of Alternia. But will either of them succeed, and how much will that amount to anything? Who knows? Who knows indeed. Anyway. Alright. Well, that's it for this week. I'm going to start uploading these to YouTube. And also, immediately, I'm going to start watching an episode of Infinity Train, because I did not get a chance to do that yesterday. So we will begin watching the Toad Car in a few moments on my live blog. So you can join me on Tumblr there. And yeah, I'll see you next fortnight when we begin meeting the Alpha Kids. See you in a bit.